Hello friends, I am glad to welcome you all to my channel. In the past video about ancient machines and mechanisms for processing stone, which apparently still possessed a past civilization, we have examined the traces of their possible use. In one of your comments, a very interesting question was raised about what these machines and mechanisms could work from, which was the source of the power supply. Friends, I am glad that you are asking the right questions and you are forming the right train of thought. Indeed, if a past civilization had huge mining machines, including for processing stone, then they had to work on something. Could it be atmospheric electricity, or some other principles of energy use, the scheme of which is still unclear to us? Let's study this question in more detail. In 1975, in Libreville, in Gabon, the capital hosted a conference devoted to this phenomenon. The most surprising thing about this conference was that among the scholars of Orthodox then sounded strange to the representatives of official science theory. Some scientists have suggested that the mysterious nuclear reactor is the result of an ancient unknown civilization, which can become a target for nuclear power. Of course, who proposed this theory? Scientists have ridiculed. The majority of the commission members agreed that the anomaly is nothing but a natural nuclear reactor. In other words, was accepted theory on that the reactor to run over many millions of years ago, in natural conditions, according to the researchers. It was on a solid bed of basalt in the river delta of the deposited layer enriched radiocarbon ore, sandstone. Due to the tectonic activity in this region, basalt foundation with uranium sandstone was submerged several meters into the ground, pesennik allegedly spreading and cracks penetrate into the groundwater. Nuclear fuel was located in the mine compact deposits inside the retarder, which was water-rich deposits of uranium, enough to start nuclear reactions. Flooded charged particles emitted or out of the water slow the neutrons back into the water, cause the release of new charged particles. Typical began a chain reaction, and all went to the fact that in places Gabon would be a huge bay, but the outbreak of a nuclear reaction, the water boiled, and the reaction was stopped. For several 100,000 years, nuclear fuel has been depleted so much that the reaction has stopped flowing, the reactor operation has stopped, but still not all participants in this conference agreed with this explanation. A number of scientists called it far-fetched, and notwithstanding any criticism, nuclear physicists themselves, to put it mildly, are not thrilled with such a verdict of the scientific commission. The fact is that the discoverers of atomic energy have long proved that a nuclear reaction can be obtained exclusively artificially. The natural environment is too unstable and chaotic to support such a complex. For example, specialists at nuclear power plants monitor the reactor around the clock, constantly changing its operating modes, preventing the reactor from stopping or completely exploding. The slightest mistake, and you can get Chernobyl or Fukushima, and here she herself worked for millions of years. Such coincidences can only happen in science fiction films, and even then in third-rate ones. Other experts are convinced that we are not talking about a nuclear reactor at all, but about a nuclear burial ground. In their opinion, this place is nothing more than a burial of spent uranium fuel, and the burial is perfectly equipped. It was immured in a basalt sarcophagus, and uranium was quietly stored underground for several years. Millions of years, and only human intervention forced him to rise to the surface. But for the most part, for the topic we are discussing, It does not matter whether this place was a reactor or a burial ground, because if there is a burial ground, then there was also a reactor that produced nuclear energy, and this is only one reactor that was discovered, and how many such reactors? Can the reactors still be in the ground? And how long can they be silent? Modern science does not deny these cases. In my opinion, simply because it was impossible to hide it, the deposit was being developed by a French company and it was impossible for thousands of employees, including scientists working for this company, to shut up. This news instantly flew around all the mass media of that time. Therefore, in my opinion, tactics were chosen in order to change the essence of the find, as well as nature and its origin. And what do you think about this? Write in the comments. And if you like the issue, put a like and subscribe to the channel. See you again.